Welcome back, dino fans, to the most epic event of the Jurassic period. Forget fighting for territory or dodging meteors, because today is all about sun, sand, and surf. The very first annual Jurassic Surf-Off Championship is on, and the entire prehistoric population has turned out to watch. The sun is scorching, the palm trees are swaying, and the waves are absolutely colossal. Our grand prize, not just bragging rights, but the legendary Golden Coconut Trophy. Every dinosaur with a dream and a prayer is here, ready to carve up the waves and make history. The energy is electric, the roar of the crowd is deafening, and the competition is about to get wild. Our story centers on one particular competitor, a dino with a heart as big as his appetite for ferns, Stegosaurus. He's been dreaming of this day for months. He's practiced his pop-up on dry land, he's studied the tides, and he's polished his plates for maximum shine. He's got his eyes locked on that golden coconut, determined to prove that a gentle giant can also be a surfing legend. But as he gazes out at the shimmering ocean, a tiny bead of prehistoric sweat trickles down his brow. He has a secret weakness, a spiky little problem that could shatter his dreams just as easily as it shatters, well, everything else. Let's head down to the starting line. The air is thick with salty spray and anticipation. Stegosaurus, with his brand new custom-made extra-large surfboard, waddles confidently toward the water's edge. It's a beautiful board, a masterpiece carved from the finest petrified wood. He gives the crowd a winning smile, adjusts his leafy lay, and gets ready to paddle out. This is his moment. He lies down on the board, his powerful legs start kicking, and he begins to paddle with his front arms. He's making great time, gliding past the initial break. But then, he needs to adjust his position. A simple weight shift. He swings his tail just a little and thwack. A terrible splintering sound echoes across the beach. His beautiful board now has 4 perfectly punctured holes in it. It sinks like a stone, leaving a very surprised Stegosaurus bobbing in the water. Whoops! The crowd lets out a collective groan of sympathy, mixed with a few giggles. Stegosaurus paddles back to shore, his face a little red under his scales. One of the organizers, a very flustered Compsognathus, rushes over with a clipboard. That's one board down. Steggy, we only have a limited supply, you know? Undeterred, Stegosaurus grabs his backup board. Just a warm-up. He shouts to the crowd, trying to look confident. He paddles out again, this time determined to keep his tail perfectly still. He sees a promising wave forming. He starts faster, faster. He's in position, but in his excitement, he wiggles his tail just a tiny bit. Snap! The sound is sickeningly familiar. Board number 2 is history. He tries again, and again. Board 3 is impaled. Board 4 is split clean in 2. Board 5 looks like it's been through a wood chipper. Seriously, it's a total surfboard massacre. I mean, what even happened here? While Stegosaurus is dealing with his spiky predicament, the other competitors are putting on quite a show. High above the waves, the pterodactyl division is dazzling everyone. They aren't just riding waves, they're using them as launch ramps. They soar into the air, perform triple corkscrew flips, and dive bomb back into the water with spectacular grace, earning perfect 10s from the judges. Down on the water, a team of velociraptors decides to try something new, tandem surfing. 2 raptors on one board. It's a flurry of claws, teeth, and poor communication. They manage to stand up for a glorious 3 seconds before they start arguing over who gets to steer, resulting in one of the most chaotic and hilarious wipeouts the judges have ever seen. They tumble end over end, a tangle of limbs and shrieks, much to the crowd's delight. And you can't have a championship without the king, right? The TRX, of course, isn't one for subtlety. Deeming the surfboards too flimsy for a dino of my stature, he wades into the water with a giant, inflatable floatie shaped like a tiny shark. The irony is lost on no one. He's not so much surfing as he is bobbing, majestically. He tries to roar at a wave to intimidate it, which, surprisingly, does not work. Every time a big wave comes, it sends him and his shark floatie tumbling towards the shore like a rubbery, roaring bowling ball. The crowd absolutely loves it.
The T-Rex might not be winning any style points, but he's definitely winning in the entertainment category.
Meanwhile, back at the shoreline, Stegosaurus is on his 10th and final surfboard. His pile of splintered wood is a monument to his failure. The Compsognathus organizer is practically tearing his tiny claws out. This is it, Steggy. The last one. If you break this, you're disqualified. The pressure is immense. The crowd is watching. The golden coconut seems to be mocking him from its pedestal. He feels his confidence waver. Is he just not cut out for this? Should he just stick to eating ferns and enjoying quiet walks? He looks at the broken pieces of his dreams. Then, out at the ocean. He sees the pterodactyls flying, the raptors laughing at their own wipeout, the T-Rex having the time of his life on a floatie. And he realizes something. It's not just about winning. It's all about enjoying yourself and having a blast. A new fire ignites in his eyes. He's not going to give up. He's a Stegosaurus. He has a spiky tail, and he's going to work with it, not against it. He has an idea, crazy, wild, probably going to end in disaster idea, but it's all he's got. He carefully gets on his last board. This time, instead of trying to keep his tail still, he holds it up high, like a rudder, or a warning sign. He paddles out, his heart pounding in his chest. He ignores the small waves, waiting for the perfect one. And then he sees it.
On the horizon, a monster is forming.
The legendary Tidalsaurus Rex, a wave so big it casts a shadow over the entire beach.
The other competitors scramble for shore. The crowd gasps.
This is it! Stegosaurus turns his board and paddles with every ounce of strength he has.
The wave swells behind him, a roaring wall of water.
He pops up onto his feet, wobbly at first, but this time is different. Instead of fighting his tail, he embraces it. As he speeds down the face of the wave, he swings his tail to the left, carving a sharp turn. The crowd roars. He swings it to the right, spraying a massive fan of water into the air. He's not just riding the wave. He's dancing with it. He spins, he slides, he uses his spiky tail for balance, for steering, for pure, unadulterated style. It's like nothing anyone has ever seen before. He's a spiky, surfing, whirlwind. Just as he's reaching the peak of his performance, he spots trouble ahead. The wave is pushing him directly toward the beach's most famous landmark, the mini,
which is currently burping out puffs of smoke and the occasional lava blob. A collision seems inevitable. The crowd screams. Is this the end?
Thinking fast, Stegosaurus does the only thing he can. He uses his tail to whip the back of his board, launching himself into the air, right over the smoking crater. He soars through the steam, a triumphant silhouette against the fiery glow. It's a move of pure, accidental genius. But now, he's airborne. Without a board, disaster! Right? Wrong! As he comes down, he lands perfectly on a large piece of driftwood that was bobbing in the water. Without missing a beat, he shifts his weight and rides the driftwood like a seasoned pro, all the way to the shore, sliding onto the sand right at the feet of the judges. For a moment, there is complete, stunned silence. Then, the entire beach erupts in the loudest cheer the Jurassic has ever heard. The pterodactyls circle overhead, squawking in approval. The velociraptors clap their claws together. Even the T-Rex, dripping wet and still attached to his shark floatie, lets out a respectful roar. Stegosaurus may have destroyed 10 surfboards and nearly gotten himself cooked, but he did something more important. He showed everyone that the best way to win is to be 100% yourself. Spikes and all. The head judge, an ancient Archaeopteryx, clears his throat and announces the winner. The trophy wasn't for the most technically perfect run, but for the most heart, style, and pure, unstoppable spirit. The Golden Coconut Trophy is proudly awarded to Stegosaurus. He took a potential disaster and turned it into a legendary performance that will be talked about for ages. It was a wild, hilarious, action-packed adventure full of wipeouts and waves. proving that even a dino with a spiky tail can become a surfing champion. Thank you so much for joining us on this wild Jurassic adventure. If you had as much fun as we did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another prehistoric party. We'll see you next time.